Ready when you are. Good morning. Being 9 a.m., I'll call to order the McHenry County Board Committee of the Whole meeting of January 12th, 2023. And Mr. Reinert will lead us in the pledge today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Kathy, could you call the roll, please?
Pamela Altoff. Here. Carolyn Campbell. Here. Joseph Gottemahler. Here. Terry Greeno. Eric Hendricks.
Here.
Carl Kosminski.
Here.
James Kearns.
Here.
Matthew Kunkel.
Here.
Teresa Meshes.
Here.
Lou Ness.
Here.
John Reinhardt.
Here.
Brian Sager.
Here.
Michael Shorten.
Here.
Michael Scala.
Present.
Larry Smith.
Here.
Gloria Van Hoff.
Present.
Tracy Von Bergen. Kelly Wegner.
Here.
Chairman Bueller.
Here. Having a quorum, we'll proceed. Good morning and welcome to the McHenry County Board's first Committee of the Whole meeting of the new year. I have some items to share with you before we begin reviewing the agenda for next Tuesday's voting meeting. On Wednesday, January 4th, the Greater Chicagoland Economic Partnership officially launched. The partnership brings together governments and economic development organizations from McHenry, Kane, Lake, Will, Kendall, and Cook counties, plus the city of Chicago, to leverage our strengths and unite our efforts to strengthen the regional economy in an increasingly competitive global market. The partnership will promote the region's many assets, such as our extensive freight, air, and interstate infrastructure, and our world-renowned research, innovation, and cultural assets. I'm looking forward to the economic prosperity this alliance seeks to bring to McHenry County and the entire seven-county region. Last week, we received the resignation of Chairman Tom Burney from the Regional Planning Commission that is overseeing the development of the McHenry County 2050 Comprehensive Plan. We will be adding a resolution to the county board agenda that will appoint RPC member Mary Donner as the new chairwoman. Last Thursday, I joined County Administrator Pete Austin and Valley High Administrator Tom Manarella in offering a tour of Valley High to Winnebago County Chairman Joe Chiarelli and Finance Committee Chairman John Butita. Winnebago County voters approved an advisory referendum to keep their River Bluff nursing home under county ownership and are considering the creation of an operating board similar to what was used in McHenry County throughout much of the last decade. Their fact-finding mission was fruitful. They had a lot of good questions, and we had good answers. So thank you to Pete, Tom, and the Valley High staff for hosting. Finally, this morning, I want to thank county board members who took the opportunity during our first round of committee meetings since the board's seating to tour the various county departments that report to them. The next opportunities will be a tour of the Sheriff's Office and our Corrections Department following the Law and Government and Liquor Committee on January 31st. And a tour of the 22nd Judicial Circuit and Probation following the February 28th Law and Government meeting. You don't need to be a member of the committee to participate, and in fact, we encourage any county board member who wants to participate to do so. Just contact Deputy County Administrator Scott Hartman so we know how many people to expect. As county board members, if there's an office or a department you would like to visit and learn about, regardless if you are a new board member or a veteran one, please contact county administration and they will be happy to arrange it for you. And that's all I have today. Do any members have comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to public comment. Just a reminder to those who do want to comment during public comment, comments are limited to 3 minutes, at which time the red light will come on. I would ask you to summarize your comments. First up, William Hellier.
May I proceed?
of me.
I said, may I proceed?
Yes, you, sir.
I'm used to, I'm Bill Hellier, I'm an attorney here in the area. I'm used to having ask to approach and to proceed. So I appreciate the opportunity. It's the same at my house. I have to ask permission. So,
You too?
I do appreciate the opportunity to speak to the board and staff. I'm an attorney. I represent the Algonquin Manor Homeowners Association. We're opposed to something that's going to hit your agenda here on Tuesday, 9709 Simmer Drive, where they're asking for a conditional use for a assisted living or shared living facility in a residential neighborhood. Part of the in front of the board, we did object. We did present signatures on a majority of the homeowners objecting. There is another homeowner here that I think is going to speak as well. So that is part of the record. We also did approach the village of Algonquin, which is within a mile and a half, and I think it's in the packet that we may have circulated. They also are objecting. With real estate, it's location, location, location. Although the concept is a good concept, it's not in the right place. This is a single-family residence that has conditions, CCRs, that regulate. This is supposed to be a single-family residence, and they're contemplating putting at least 4 unrelated parties in a 4-bedroom house. The house was originally constructed as a 3-bedroom house, and pulling the permit, we had some concerns with respect to not only the well, but also the septic. Looking at the, and I'll leave a copy of this with the chairman, the application indicates it's a 3-bedroom house. So if it's going to be a 4-bedroom house, the testimony was there are going to be at least 4 residents. However, if the parties are related, there could be a husband and wife, so there could be in excess of 4 residents plus 2 full-time caregivers. So there's a question whether or not the septic and the well are sufficient. More importantly, if you look at the petition that they filed, they're not providing any food services. I think the code, well, I don't think, I know the code requires that a facility of this nature requires 3 meals a day. The petition indicates that they're not going to provide any food service. They'll heat it up for you if it's already prepared. They also will not administer medication. Our thoughts are, if you need assisted care, nobody's going to be helping you fix your food. Nobody's going to be administering your medication. That this is certainly a liability. And this residence is about 300 yards from the Fox River. There's also a liability issue with respect if somebody gets out and wanders around. So respectfully, we'd ask you to consider the testimony that was given, and we'd ask you to, we're objecting, we're asking you to vote against the proposal. Thank you very much. I see the red light. My time is up. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you, sir. Terry Capel, did you wish to speak? You didn't check to speak?
Good morning. My name's Terry Capel. I came to speak again about route bus service in McHenry County and the need to expand it. For those who don't rely on public transportation to get around in McHenry County, I would point out that there is a distinct need and an underservice in our county for public transportation. The need includes empowering low income and the disabled to get to and from where they need to go to live a fuller life. The route bus service can provide reliable, timely service to places like Marion Central High School and Pioneer Center. Right now, we only have 2 or 3 buses in the morning, 2 and 3 in the afternoon, and a wide breadth of time between service for route buses that are not served. The dial-a-ride service does not provide the same reliability, and oftentimes you call up and you can't get a ride to and from where you want to go. What's more, bus service route bus service particularly that's reliable will reduce wear on roads and congestion, needing less money to go to expanding roads, improving roads, repairing roads, and bridges as well. It also reduces fossil fuel emissions in our county. For every person that rides a bus, there's one less car on the road. And I've learned a lot during my decision to advocate for this issue. I know that not only does it have to be a McHenry County issue, but it also has to be dealt with regionally and the suburban area through PACE and RTA. While there's an expense involved, I would argue that this expense is not, the lack of revenues is not the issue, it's the will to have a public service, because we already are receiving, the McHenry County already receives $14 million through the RTA tax. The RTA tax was originally intended for bus service, as well as Metra and CTA. And we're currently only spending $2 million out of $14 million on bus service in our county. We can do better. I see my lights going on, so I will talk more about this in the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Jan Vanderspool, followed by Deborah Altoff-Will.
Hi, my name is Jan Vanderspool. I live at 8708 Bull Run Trail, Woodstock, Illinois, subdivision Bull Run Estates. My seething anger from the ancillary dwelling unit built on my next-door neighbor's lot continues to fume. McHenry County has damaged my subdivision by the 2019 text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, UDO, permitting ADUs by right on all agricultural estate and residential zoning unit uses, thereby removing any neighbor notification of permit application through hearing. Prior to 2019, after the first draft introduction of the 2014 UDO, the county board decided that ADUs were not right for McHenry County, and the final UDO provided that no additional ADUs be allowed. The text amendment in 2019 was driven by an AARP initiative endearing the terms such as mother-in-law suite, granny pod, or aging in place. Would you not hug your granny? Would you not? But make no mistake, an ADU is a rental unit. There is no requirement of relationship to the permit requester for the ADU inhabitants. In fact, all supporting articles provided the date to the Planning, Environment, and Development Committee describing the ultimate wonder of ADUs is clearly about rental units, especially in California. My subdivision has been damaged because single-family estate is now redefined as multifamily. Exclusive rental guarantees that traffic by non-stakeholders in the subdivision is certain. The ADU sharing the primary residence lot is incongruent with the entire rest of the neighborhood as a 36-plus year resident at the same address. My expectation of what single-family estate zoning means is shattered by the 2019 text amendment. My expectation for safety and security of my subdivision has been shattered. I believe the 2014 choice by the county board to consider ADUs not as right for McHenry County was correct for estate zoning. For the rest of my life, I will not see how ADUs properly fit in the single-family estate zone use concept. I invite all board members to visit the subdivision. I encourage all county board members to consider what I have discussed in this comment. And trust me, PED knows my contact information. Thank you.
Thank you. Deborah Altoff-Will, followed by Eric Metcher.
Hello. Thank you for hearing me today. My name's Deborah Altoff-Will. I live at 9706 Fox Shores Drive. I'm a little nervous today because I'm much more comfortable hosting a neighborhood barbecue than I am in front of a county board. And that's the kind of neighborhood I want to live in, which is one that we all get along and things work. I never thought I would be before the county board saying something that was negative about what was happening in my backyard. I moved to Algonquin in 2018, so I'm a very new resident to McHenry County. And we purposefully purchased our home because of the woods around my home and the wonderful relationships and neighbors that we found. And some of them are here with me today. And it's wonderful to live where I live. Unfortunately, the petition that's before the board today at 9709 Zimmer Road is immediately adjoining my property. We share a backyard. And now the traffic is going to be horrendous. I recently cared for my dying father in a residential situation. And we had caregivers constantly coming to the home. Even though the care was happening in our home, it was happening. We had, and this was not in Algonquin, this was in Southern Illinois, but we had people coming to our home, 2, 3, 4 people every day. And so if we multiply that by 3 and 4 in a residential neighborhood behind my home, the wildlife behind my house, they're not visiting any longer. The traffic on these streets, that's not happening. Our streets are decaying in our neighborhood right now. The increased traffic will be horrific. The food delivery. I think what they're doing, if we're going to say that this is in the best interest of seniors in our community, shame on us. We're not providing food for these people in this home. And then they're going to have food delivery? How much more traffic is that? Our basic needs are food and shelter. And while this might provide shelter, it won't provide the basic needs. And it will be detrimental to the rest of our neighborhood and our property values. And quite frankly, I never would have bought my home in this neighborhood, in this situation, had I realized what was going to happen. And I never thought it could because it was zoned correctly. And so the petition in front of you to reconsider this zoning, I'm asking you to please, please do not do this to our neighborhood. Thank you. I'm so sorry. I also do have 2 additional letters from neighbors. I don't know if I can submit those as well.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eric Metcher, followed by Eric Kreskin.
Good morning, Chairman. Good morning, Board. I'm here. My name is Eric Mesher. I live at 9719 Fox Shores Drive. I'm here on a similar opposition to an item that you guys will be voting on next Tuesday for 9709 Zimmer Drive for them trying to put in a residential care facility. I believe there was a lot of emails sent out. I believe there was discussions with board members in regards to this. I know there was a lot of conditional use rejections against this. The items that I wanted to bring up against this residential care facility in a single-family home area are as follows. First off, though, I'm strongly opposed at granting the conditional use permit to the 9709 Zimmer Drive that's going to be a residential care facility in a single-family home area. During the zoning meeting, they approved this conditional use, and the business owner that is applying for this, I think, has misled the zoning board. They have on their requirements that they have 4 residents that are going to be inside the facility, but they're also allowing spouses. So now there's 8 elderly people living inside this facility. That's a 3-bedroom home. And also the burden of the issue on the property as far as the septic system that will handle this. How does a septic system built in a house that's for single family support 8 elderly people, 2 workers that are on site at all times, and at shift change there would be 4 of them, plus a floating nurse and any other therapists or doctors or traveling nurses that would come to visit this? I just don't see how this can be allowed, or I would really hope that the board votes no against this. Additionally, they're requiring parking for all these people that are supposed to be at this house. They have 5 spots. They're going to turn the garage into a handicap spot. They're going to have 2 additional parking spots for the staff in the main driveway. And then there's a gravel pad that the previous owner put in that they stored their branches on, and they had a fire pit in. And now they are allowing this to be a parking spot for the employees that will be coming there. I don't know how we can authorize a gravel pad to be a parking spot, especially considering it's 5 feet away from a 3,000-gallon septic tank, and it's just a pad. There's no curb, there's no concrete, there's no pavement. What is stopping the employees from driving into the yard and doing any damage to the septic system? On top of it, the septic system is 6 feet above the adjoining neighbor who just spoke, Deborah Will. Her property is 6 feet below in elevation from this property, and the septic system's at the back of the lot of 9709 and at the back of Deborah's house. If there's any failure to that, how is that, going to impact her yard or her? Oh, I guess I'm over with. My time is up. But thank you for your time. I hope we can come to a common sense approach and not destroy the community that we take care of so much. Thank you very much. I'm a business owner in McHenry County, and I wouldn't even imagine doing this to a single-family area.
Eric Kreskin, followed by
I just wanted to submit 2 other
Plus,
things.
yeah.
Sorry. Letters against from me and my wife.
Good morning, Board. My name is Eric Kresmery. I reside at 9607 Zimmer Drive, and actually own 2 properties on our street. So I've made quite an investment in my neighborhood, and to see the board approve this conditional use at 9709, I just doesn't seem right. As other people have brought up, I think just the sheer number of people that are present to object to this, it clearly shows this is not the best use for our neighborhood, which is one of the standards they have to meet in this conditional use approval, is that it will not be injurious to our community. And obviously by the parking issue it brings up, the food service issue it brings up, the septic issue it brings up, the well, being able, this facility would be required to have fire protection. During the process, they have not proved that they will not have adequate well service, adequate septic service, and the parking. It will definitely impact our neighborhood. I just don't see, there are other issues this parking will resolve with excessive use of our roads. The condition of our roads is already impacted, and just this whole concept is not right for this neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Nicola Siag, sorry for the pronunciation, followed by Edward Gogol.
Hello, good morning. My name's Nicola Shug. I'm an owner adjacent to 9709. I live in 9801 Zimmer Drive. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I just want to say, when I was buying this home, I love the neighborhood, the wildlife, the golf carts going up and down the street, the river, everything. Everyone's so friendly. Bringing this into our neighborhood will increase traffic, probably a bunch of ambulances, and as well as the parking situation. There's just going to be a massive influx and increase of people. On that note, I'm also a registered nurse. I go to these facilities. I have a lot of experience with them. It's constantly in and out, people, deliveries. It's not fun for a neighborhood to have something like this. And as a neighbor, literally right next door to me is just it's going to be a nightmare. Overall, I mean, like I said, the ambulances, it's just going to be, I want to say, a mess. That's not why I bought the property. I bought the property because it was nice, quiet, everyone's, nice, and I can't imagine that happening. The wildlife, as I mentioned, there's deer. In that 9709, there's deer in their property all the time. It's beautiful. With all those cars, the deer are going to be gone. That's just not going to happen anymore. Also, as a homeowner, you don't want to see your property value go down. But at the end of the day, I mean, it will. No one's going to want to buy anybody's house or even rent in that area if there's something like that next door. I mean, overall, I'm very opposed to this, and just, as a homeowner and as a person, I really, really ask you to vote against this. Thank you.
Edward Gogol.
I cede my time. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for public comment. No reports and presentations today. We'll move on to new business. Do any board members have items they'd like removed for discussion? Ms. Meshes.
I'd like to pull 10A1. That's it.
Second. Any others? Seeing none? 10A1, Ms. Meshes.
Thank you. We have heard and read a lot about this conditional use permit. We have to decide on it based on the standards, and I find on the third standard that the establishment, maintenance, or operation of the conditional use shall not be detrimental to or endanger the public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare of the neighboring vicinity. On that standard, I intend on voting no for this CUP. I do think that in this neighborhood, that does not have curbs and has narrow roads, that the additional traffic brought to this area due to the multiple deliveries that we can assume will occur for each of the individual residents, the food delivery, the supply delivery, the medical delivery. The employees of this facility are not responsible for supplying medicine, food, or supplies, so I would expect that each individual will have to take care of their own needs in that way. Each resident may have a car, each employee may have a car, their visitors will have cars. That I don't think there's suitable parking for all the increased people that would come to this. What would now be a facility instead of a house. I am concerned about maintenance of the property, given that none of the residents or employees are charged with caring for the outdoor maintenance or necessarily indoor maintenance of the house. And so on those grounds, I don't think the third standard is met.
Thank you, Ms. Meshes. Ms. Van Hoff.
I also intend to vote no on this issue. I've communicated with several of the residents that live in that area who will be affected by this. I also, I'm very familiar with what has to take place when you have residents living in a facility that require care. They may have a visit from physical therapy, occupational therapy, nursing, all of those services in and out of the community. And I really just do not think that this is fair to the residents or to the individuals who live in the community. Not only are they required to have 3 meals a day, they are required also to have 2 snacks. So perhaps the snacks could be done in-house, but this is still not a place where I would want to have my elderly, family member live. So I will be voting no on this issue.
Thank you. Ms. Ness.
I don't think it is the purview of the zoning process to understand the program inside the building. As I understand it, it is incumbent on the developer to meet the zoning standards. What I find unsettling about this is that the developer did not go to the neighbors, that he didn't talk to the neighbors, that he didn't enroll the neighbors in the process, that they didn't talk together about how this program could lift up the neighborhood and how they would work together. And so that, I think, is a huge missing and should have been handled. It doesn't feel to me like this house will be welcome in the neighborhood. And so from the zoning perspective, I don't have anything to say about that. But from the emotional impact and the relational condition of the neighborhood, I don't know that I would support this going forward. I would really encourage the owner, he should have sat down with them and talked to them first.
Thank you. Mr. Kunkel, did you have something to add?
I do. I kind of second most of these opinions and things that have come out, but I also wanted on zoning, planning and zoning number 2, I wanted to point out that Peter F. Cowell from the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, did a study and found that properties proximate to the group home experience a decline in value. And he goes on to say that the valuations change in those neighborhoods over time to a more of a mixed multifamily use over time, and creates a future decline also in the property values. That alone speaks volumes to doing this in a subdivision that was planned, covenanted for single-family use properties.
Thank you. Any others? Seeing none. Pete, you got a report for us today?
I got about a half hour to fill, so I can do lots of report. Yeah, I do have a few things to touch base on. You know, we've talked a lot about using the American Rescue Plan dollars to expand fiber, and I'm happy to report we now have 22 letters of support for expansion of fiber in the north and the west from townships and school districts and business groups and the Farm Bureau. It's happening soon. The phase 2 or phase 3 Connect Illinois program is going to be opening up, we think, in the middle of February. There was a hearing this week in Springfield on some of the final elements of that program, so they're going to be ready to go. And I've been in contact with several groups, so we're all ready to pounce when it opens. Adam Latundra and I were on the conference call yesterday with one of the private entities that wants to come in, and I think we're all well positioned. Had a good discussion yesterday with the Finance Committee about our own advanced McHenry County dollars and how we want to, put a little box around about 3 million of those in the event that we need to make some matches, and I thought that was received well. I will tell you the whole discussion yesterday about advanced McHenry County was good. I think Stephen Gray from our Finance Division did a good job of kind of updating the new Finance Committee as to what we've done and where we've been and what's remaining. And we have about $14.5 million that need to be allocated to the community per the previous board's plan, and we've got more than $14.5 million worth of applications. So I think we're well positioned to move rapidly as we move into February and March and get those dollars out onto the street. And I appreciate Stephen's update there. Chairman Bueller and myself and leaders from the city of Marengo and ComEd and the MCEDC will be meeting a week from today to talk about utilities down at 23 and 90. This is a real priority as we talk about the strategic plan initiatives and as we will later today and economic development. There's none bigger than 2390, but nothing is going to happen down there until we get NICOR and ComEd to put in the utilities that are going to be necessary to facilitate the types of development, manufacturing, distribution, whatever, those kinds of developments down there. So we really need to keep our major utilities feet to the fire and work with our delegation in Springfield and to make sure that all that's happening. So looking forward to that discussion. This is not going to be a surprise to ComEd. We've been in touch with them multiple times in recent months, but it'll be a good update for us to meet with them on next Thursday. I think Chairman mentioned in his comments the Greater Chicago Economic Development Partnership that we are now a part of. I'm happy to report that MCEDC President Jim McConaughey is already reporting that we are seeing more leads than ever before because of this new partnership, and we're seeing leads that just didn't float in our direction before, and that's what it's intended to do. Is it's trying to be a single repository for these opportunities, and then they get spread out all over the 7-county area. Some of them will be responded to by the Economic Development Partnership, but some can be responded to by us. But Jim is feeling real good about that. I want you and this new board to know that we have signed up for 3 years. We have made that financial commitment for 3 years, and we've set aside the dollars for 3 years. So we are in, and the dollars are there, and we'll just look back and hopefully enjoy the fruits of those investments. But there is no decisions to be made. They've been made. We're in, and looking forward to that. What else can I tell you? On your desk this morning, we had 4 resolutions. 2 were brand new. One from the county clerk, and Mr. Terrio talked about that with the Finance Committee yesterday, about needing to get some new applications in the mail for voters and some of the associated postage costs. So you'll be seeing that added to the agenda when we repost tomorrow. Similarly, we have a brand new agenda, our new resolution from the coroner's office, kind of talking about how we want to handle some medical examination costs that kind of came in late in the fiscal 22, and we'll be paying for them in fiscal 23. Good discussion with Finance Committee about how we want to handle that moving forward, and I think Carrie's got some good ideas on handle that. Let's see, I referenced Carrie. Carrie's here. Welcome, Carrie. You saw my email last Friday that Kevin Boyso, our CFO, is leaving the organization to bigger things and joining the Regional Transportation Authority. And we're proud of Kevin and looking forward to his next steps there. And he'll be serving us there at the RTA, so that's good. But I am so confident and pleased that we've got the talent in-house to step into Kevin's shoes, and I know that Carrie's going to do a great job. And the finance division team has her complete support. We have another change that's going to be happening in the finance division. And Stephen Gray, who I referenced earlier, who's been kind of our person on Advanced McHenry County, is also leaving. Stephen is going over to Lake County. And he's going to be joining the Lake County Treasurer's Office. I feel confident that we're well positioned again internally with what we've done on the Advanced McHenry County, with our relationship with the Bronner Group, that we can make this seamless transition to a new spot there. I'm going to work with Carrie and Kevin and figure out how to best to fill that position. But again, as I said at Finance Committee yesterday, we have about $14.5 million left to distribute on the Advanced McHenry County program, but I feel like 95% of the work is done. You know, we've collected the applications, we've scored the applications. It's just a matter of saying this is the amounts we want to do, and these are the award winners. So Chairman Bueller, Finance Chairman Scala, and I will be meeting next week or so to kind of massage those applications a little bit more and bring them forward in February to talk more with Finance Committee. I guess the final thing I mentioned is related to finance and Donna Kurtz, your new treasurer, and I just wanted to express my appreciation to Donna and our finance team for the regular meetings we've been having already. Donna is looking to put in all the best practices she can in the treasurer's office and learn from how we've interacted in the past and build upon that. So, we've got meetings scheduled just about every Wednesday, and we're sharing good ideas and looking forward to helping Donna, develop the kind of treasurer's office that she wants. So appreciating that. So that's all I have, Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Pete. We do have a need for a brief executive session, so I'll entertain a motion to enter executive session in accordance with 5 ILCS 120C11, 2C11 pertaining to litigation. Ms. Meshes, seconded by Mr. Shorten. Kathy, could you call the roll call vote, please?
Executive session can be the whole January 12th, 2022. Pamela Altoff. Carolyn Campbell. Joseph Gottemoller. Terry Greeno. Eric Hendricks. Carl Kaminsky. James Kearns. Matthew Kunkel. Teresa Meshes. Lou Ness. John Reinhardt. Brian Sager. Michael Shorten. Michael Scala. Larry Smith. Gloria Van Hoff. Tracy Von Bergen. Kelly Wegner. Chairman Bueller. Chairman Bueller.
Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Mr. Scala, seconded by Mr. Kaminsky. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against?